Hi guys, it's Tasha C and welcome back again to my new series of talks with Tasha. So guys, as you know, I had to come back and do it bigger and better than last time. So today I've got a lovely episode with an amazing guest. But before we get into that, make sure you like, comment and subscribe. Hit that post notifications so you're notified. And if you're listening on Spotify, make sure you tune in, share, Apple Podcasts. It's going to be everywhere, okay? So without further ado, guys, let me introduce my guest for today, who is Sophia.
Hi. Hello.
Hi, Sophia. Right, so Sophia, give us a brief introduction about yourself.
Okay, I'm Sophia.
Yeah.
My religion is nothing. I'm an atheist. I'm agnostic. I have no religion. I'm a very open person. I like learning about like religions and stuff. And I'm ready to answer everything you have to give me.
Oh, she's ready.
I'm ready. I'm ready to give.
Because sis said, let me look at the questions. Let me write on my notes.
Let me see.
She really deeply analysed, point, evidence, explanation. She's got everything.
Yes.
And we're ready to diagnose today. Right, so let's go straight into it, right? Starting off, explain your religion in 3 words. Obviously, as an atheist.
Atheist, we can give like non-believer.
Yes.
Don't really believe in anything. I've got skeptic. Might not really feel a religion. And I can give, I don't know, there's so many words for it. An unbeliever, a scientific person instead of being labeled, you know? That's the type of thing it's given. It's,
Right, so would you say that like all of these words, non-believer, let's start with that, okay? We're going to diagnose each of these words.
Okay.
So non-believer to you means that obviously you don't believe in any of these.
don't believe in any of these. For
Religions.
me personally, I feel like each religion is its own story. It has something behind it and a deep meaning. But to me, I have no emotional, spiritual, or physical connection with the religion, you know?
And have
There's
you ever
nothing
like
there.
explored these connections? Because obviously it's a thing where it's like, if you don't know, how would you know if you have a connection with them?
Yeah.
Have you read the Bible? Have you gone to church? Have you gone to the mosque?
My parents, my mum is actually Christian and my dad is Muslim.
That is mad. Like, growing up,
with
wow.
two. It was an interesting life I had. When I was younger, I went to church. I did mosques. I prayed at a church. I've prayed in a mosque. I've read the Bible. I've read the Quran. I've done both. I've been to a temple before. I've done it all. I really did explore before I said what I am, you know? I really wanted to give it a chance before saying, yeah, I'm atheist, you know?
Yeah. And like growing up in a household with a Muslim dad and a Christian mom, nah.
Yeah,
Girl, how was that? Like, did it, even your mental health, push aside religion, let's look at you mentally, like, how was that growing up?
Do you know what? My mum, when it came to Christianity, obviously she grew up with it. She had spent her whole life as a Christian.
Yeah.
But she never practiced the religion like that. She didn't, you know, try and pull it onto me. My dad, my dad is a traditional Muslim. And before I was even born, he had told my mum, I want my kids to be Muslim. He had already got that in his head, you know?
This is why you don't marry someone from another religion. No,
Do you know what? Do you know what? That has always been something I struggled with when I was younger because I used to get bullied for having 2 different religions in my household.
It's so confusing for you, and it's like mentally draining. Like your dad is saying she's going to be a Muslim.
Yeah.
Your mum is like, I'm a Christian though, so where do we go from there?
My mum said let them be what they want to be. So like for example, my little sister's a Muslim, you know? She does the religion. Yeah, she does the religion. She does the whole shebang. For Eid, she fasted. She did everything.
Oh, wow.
But me, I chilled. I didn't do nothing.
No way.
Nope.
So you're growing up in a household where it's like even your sister is following this Muslim belief, and does it not like tempt you or pull you closer when you see her doing all of these things?
I have no attachment to the religion. I have nothing to the religion.
After all these years of growing up,
yeah, you'd think
that
I would be
that like you would be a bit more attached. But the
Yeah.
fact that you're telling me that you have no, that's weird. Why do you think that is though? Because it's not like normal.
It's how you're raised, you know? When you're raised with a dad who doesn't really put the effort in for the religion, when he doesn't show you what the religion has to give, you realize like, oh, well, then it's not that important, is it? When I was younger, I tried so hard, Tasha. I tried so hard.
Really?
I wanted to be the best Muslim there was. I wore the hijab. I went and prayed. I went to learn Arabic. I tried my best.
Stop.
But my dad never put in that effort to really teach me. He didn't tell me how to read the Quran. I had to learn that in Arabic school. I didn't have an attachment to anything. And then when I hit high school and I saw all these people around me and everyone is something, there's all these people with, I'm Hindu, I'm Sikh, I'm this, I'm that. And I was like, I don't know what I am. I have no clue what I'm doing. I was like, why am I stressing myself out over a religion? You know, I love religions.
It became
and I
too overwhelming. But stopping you right there, do you think that if your dad did put in that effort, you would have maybe drawn closer to Muslim?
Maybe. Maybe. I don't know. You know, you can never know what was the other option. It's something.
But 100%, because when you have that detachment from something, it stems from a deeper root.
Yes.
And that's been stemmed because there was no connection from the upbringing.
Exactly.
So now everything to do with even, it's like dragged you from religion as a whole, which is a whole nother story. Because it's like that upbringing has just pulled your mindset away from any possibility. Let's say it was like, you know, Christianity was the way from you. That has dragged you away from Christianity as well. Like as a Christian myself, I would say that if you had like, if your mum was a stronger believer in Christ and she's, you know, you went to church and you found a church you actually liked and you were, you know, not like even participating in church, but just having friends there, Bible study, worshiping, because the church is a beautiful place. Like when you go there,
I loved it. I love the vibe. Just
the
go in
church,
there.
oh, the church is a beautiful place. And when you find your church, that's even better. Like there's no home like the church. Even some people say that their home is not even as comfortable to them as the church is.
Of course, a holy place will always, it's the same with a mosque. Like I felt very comfortable when I was in like a mosque. When I was praying in a mosque, when I was there, because I spent quite a long time in there. I was very comfortable. I just didn't feel like I fit in. And I felt like I didn't merge well with people.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, this leads me to my next question straight away already. So, going to the church and the mosque, how was that different? Because obviously, you're visiting two different places.
With the church I went to, it was very much a homey vibe, you know, like you go in, you've got a priest smiling, you've got all these families and people and everyone you feel connected to, you know. When you go to a mosque, it's a bit different. It's a lot more quieter. It's a lot more calm. The vibe is very relaxed. You know, your whole body kind of just relaxes.
No way.
And when you start to go, because you go into a mosque to pray mostly. You don't go in there for much. Like you have like Bible study and all of that in church. With a mosque, you've got obviously Arabic learning and you've got learning about the Quran.
Yeah.
But then when it comes to the big part of the mosque, which is the middle part where you pray, it's more you go in there and you come out. You know, you go in at the time that's set to go pray.
Yeah.
You wash yourself, you do wudu, which is washing your hands, your feet, your body, cleansing yourself before going to pray. Then you pray and you leave again. It's nothing like with the church, you know, you sit there, you speak, you talk, you converse.
Yeah.
In a mosque, I mean, you can, but it kind of feels like because of how quiet it is and how calm it is, at least in the mosque I went to, you don't really want to spend too long in there, you know, because you feel like you're intruding.
And do you think that, like, if you were, you know, just taught properly, even like as a Christian with your mum, because you've been speaking a lot about like as a Muslim, but even as a Christian, you know,
I think it would have been different.
It would have been different.
Yeah.
How was like praying as on the Christian side of things as well?
Praying so again, I didn't really know much when it came to the Christianity either.
Yeah.
So I went with my auntie a few times, and she taught me like what I needed to read on the Bible, what I had to read when what we had to say when we were standing up, what we sung, when we went up to the actual like place where the priest speaks and stuff. She did teach me those things, but again, because I didn't know the deeper meaning behind it or like the reasoning behind why do you say these verses? what do these verses emotionally, physically, or spiritually have connection to you?
You needed that counsel.
Yeah, I needed that. I needed
that support at that time, and it's so a shame that you didn't get it at that time. But I want you to know that it's never too late as well.
Of course not.
Like, even now, I know your mind is so stern on there's no religion, or how do we know? Because even like before the podcast, we were having a conversation.
We were speaking about this.
And sis was telling me, like, how do you even know? Like, where did the Bible come from? Like, who wrote the Bible? All of these questions. And it's like, all of these questions are answered in the Bible. And when you have that counsel, when you have that pastor, because I'm no pastor, I'm not even the best when it comes to answering those type of questions. Like, when you asked me, and I was just like,
what do you mean?
I even looked into it, I was like, what am I saying now? Because it was a situation where I was like, I didn't know what to really say. But if you look to a higher power who would know what to say, you would have had your answers quick. And it makes sense. Like, when you seek, you will find. It says in the Bible, when you seek the Lord, you will find him. But how do you seek the Lord when
you have no guidance?
You have no guidance. You have no source. And that's like, a lot of my friends as well are Christians, but it's like, I don't know what church to go to. I don't know who to even go to find a good church. Like, I've been trying to find a good church for ages. I feel awkward when I step into the church. Why is everybody staring at me? I don't like the vibe of this place. Is this not a place where God has told us to love everybody? So yet still, why are we,
there's this judgmental eye.
There's this judgmental atmosphere.
It's not even just like the church. I know your friends, they're right. Because you walk in and you've got all these eyes like
100%.
Looking at you. And you're 100%. Just like, I'm by myself. I don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm by myself. And I don't know why people are looking at me like this, but I feel like I'm not wanted.
Exactly. It's like, I feel like I'm not valued. And if you go somewhere and you feel like you're not valued or not wanted, or you don't fit in,
come back. You don't come back.
You don't come back. And it's like, how do you expect these people to be coming back to the church, the same place that you're inviting them, when you keep on overlooking them, when you're dismissing them? And I feel like, as a Christian myself, I feel like that's something that, we all need to do better on. We all need to work on, because we need to make each other feel loved. God says, love your neighbor as yourself. As in, love each other as you love yourself. And if they just shown you that, or if, we could have done that earlier, then it shows that, like, we could have loved each other just as much as we love ourselves.
Exactly.
We could all be in a place where we know, right, this is where I am, this is my purpose, this is my destiny,
reasoning to be
this is my reasoning to be here. And it literally upsets me hearing you say this now, because it's like, I just wish I could go back in time and call my pastor, call my youth ministry, anybody, to say, Sophia, talk to them, go to this place. People believe that, if you're a Christian, right? I have my morals as a Christian, and let's say you have your morals as a Muslim, let's say, how would we be together in the same household, live together, whilst I'm obeying the Bible and you're obeying another? You know what I mean?
So, how my parents did, it was actually quite calm. My dad prayed when he needed to pray, and my mum, when she did read the Bible and when she did do her thing, she'd do her thing. There was no, like, ongoing conflict between the two. And there never should be any ongoing conflicts between the two. But for some reason, in people's minds, it's like, oh, but that seems so wrong, to hear, like, someone reading the Bible and then another person reading the Quran and praying on the floor. It's like, it's almost like it's shunned and it shouldn't happen.
It shouldn't,
But in a household, it's like a normal house. You do what you need to do to feel good, to feel like you're doing the right thing. And when you've got morals like my mother and morals like my father, it didn't override each other. It actually went together, because at the end of the day, religions, they're not the same thing, but they are interlinked. We all believe in God. We all believe in something, even if it's not the same person, the same name. I say Allah, you say God. I say Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and you say Jesus Christ. But at the end of the day, we both have a link.
Yeah, exactly. And this is like what I talked about in my other podcast. That's why I can, like, come here and sit here and talk about religion and stuff, because I have this, like, connection to whoever I'm talking to. And it's not like, oh, you're a Muslim, I'm a Christian, I can't talk to you because we don't look at the same faith. It's like, what? Like, we still believe in good morals. We're good people. Just because we have different upbringing, it doesn't stop us from having conversations like these, where I don't have to be like, oh my days you're an atheist, I can't talk to you on my days, cut the cameras, let's not record this podcast. No, like, what? And I also, but linking back to what you said, because this is going to leave my head now, you know when you said about, like, coming together, it's so wrong, but it's because, like, certain things in the Bible as well contradicts that. Like, it says, do not be unequally yoked with your partner in the Bible. Meaning, you can't have this different beliefs from them. You can't be on different wavelengths.
I think it is in the Quran as well.
Really?
I think I can't. Don't quote me on.
I know
Do not quote me on that.
Yeah.
Don't quote me.
They won't.
I'm almost certain there is something about that. May not be the same thing, but there is something about that somewhere, which might be the reasoning behind a lot of the views behind like two different religions in the same household.
Exactly. That's exactly why. Because that's what I mean. It's a miracle that your parents have made it work. Because
it really is.
Because a lot of the time, it's like, in the Bible, when you are unequally yoked with somebody, how do you, overlook, how do you work around it? But you've just said that your parents have done that.
Yeah.
So there's obviously been a way that they've done it. What did you guys do, like, during, like, celebrations, like Easter, Christmas?
Okay.
Yeah.
So, we don't celebrate Christmas religiously. We celebrate it as a holiday. So, like, we do the presents, we have the nice dinner.
Yeah, you're
but
not.
We don't,
What about your mum? Would she not want to, like, embrace the fact that...
She's a bit like me. We have trauma behind our childhoods when it came to religion. Like, my mum, although she was brought up Christian, she has a link with Christianity still, but it's not as strong as what it used to be when she was younger, because when she was younger, it was every single day at the church. Sunday, you're doing everything. Now it's no longer like that, because I guess as you grow older, for my mum at least, she realized, like, as much as I prayed, as much as I wished and I hoped and I believed, nothing changed for me. So why should I keep, going? And I think that was the same for me. When you're always praying and hoping, like I remember I used to pray, Tasha. I used to pray for a change in my life. When things would go wrong, I used to beg and I was like, I'm so sorry for whatever I've done wrong. Please let it change. And it wouldn't. And then I realized, why am I still doing this to myself? Why am I holding on to something that I don't even know could be there? Even if it is there, they're not helping me. When I prayed, like, I hope my exams go well, and I studied and studied and studied and I still failed, that again put in my head, why am I praying? Why am I doing this to myself?
And that's what your mum went through and what you just said you went through is such a deep issue in the Christian faith, because a lot of the times we pray and we feel like, why is my prayers not being answered? Why is God not hearing me? God, I failed this exam. I can't do this again. Like, I can't fail maths again. Like,
and it's
what
so
the
painful.
hell? It's painful and it's draining, because it's like, am I wasting my time? And I know exactly what you're saying, because I've even been through situations like that where I've been thinking, like, oh my days, like, why is God not answering my prayers? Like, is he actually here? But all I can tell you is God's timing, not yours. And I know it's as simple as that. And there's probably so many quotes in the Bible to show you that. But it's literally just when you have to remember that he has a better plan for you. Even though right now we think passing maths will be everything, or I thought, I don't know.
Finishing FMP.
Why isn't my YouTube viral yet? Like, what the hell? Like, why am I not getting paid for this? God knows how much I love doing this. Why am I, spending so much hours and time and, traveling an hour and 20 minutes to college every day to do this, and it's not doing well, and other people are recording TikToks and spend 1 second into something and that goes viral. Why, God? Why? And you always have these questions as a Christian, because you always think, right, we have a God we pray to. He should be providing for us. He should be, coming to us. But it's like, that's not how God sees it. It's as simple as that. God knows what we need more than what we think we need. And I know it's hard to hear, but as much as you probably thought, I needed to pass this, I was studying so long, I put in night work, as much as I think I'm traveling to college every day, doing all of this, God is saying, not right now, Tasha.
It will come when it's ready.
It will come when it's ready, because God is always listening. Like, I promise you, God is always listening. Like, God has worked in my life in amazing ways that if he wasn't listening, there'll be no way I'll be here right now. If he wasn't listening, you never know what could have happened out there. You think that car went faster on the road by accident? No.
Yeah.
You think, you know, when you're nearly about to get hit on the road, when
Yeah,
your life,
yeah.
when your life could have literally gone, you think it was just the luck that split second that car went? It wasn't luck, it was God. And that's why if you're waking up each day and your prayers are still not being answered, don't think that, nah, God is not listening, because God is waking you up every day for a reason. God is waking you up every day because he has a plan for you. And God's plan will always be better than our plan.
When I told my dad that I was not Muslim, it was heartbreaking because you can see the disappointment. But I had to walk away, Tasha. Sometimes you have to walk away. Even when you feel like you can't, you have to. When I told him, like, I'm not atheist, like I don't believe in anything, not true. I'm more atheist agnostic. I do believe there's more to us. I don't think we just die and we're dead. I believe we go somewhere. I just don't know where, what it is. My dad, when he heard that come from me, looked like he was gonna cry.
No,
He was not ready to hear that. You know?
Won't be.
And he never,
Which parent is going to raise their child and expect them to turn away from their beliefs?
See, you said raise. My dad, he didn't do much to raise. There was not much raising done. Neither with my sister. And my sister, she's a godsend. God bless her. She is a Muslim and she's trying hard. You know? I tried hard. I was at her age and I fasted. I did everything. And I still felt like I wasn't doing good enough. So I didn't give up. I walked away. I said, okay, I've laid my cards. I've set my bed. But I'm not going to lay in it. I'm going to walk away. And I'll go try something else. You know, you never really know your identity. Sometimes it will change, and sometimes you don't know when that change will happen. For me, I've known this change. I've been known this change since I was 14 years old.
It's crazy.
And I knew it was never going to shift. I was never going to go back to being a Muslim or go back to being a Christian. I can appreciate your religion. I can understand your religion. I lived through it. But I will never sit there and say, I'm a Christian. I'm a Muslim. I read the Quran. I read the Bible. It will never happen.
But like, don't you think there's more? Like,
of course there's more.
And it is a source of the higher power. It is like...
I believe there's a higher power.
But then what is it if it's not God?
You never know. And you never will know. Do you see from my eyes, when you look at it through a fixed lens, when you just look at it like that, you don't see what's outside. There's a lot more to life than just us saying, oh, God was this, God was that. A lot of things that happen nowadays. How can you say, can you say that it's God?
Quick question, right? Before I'll answer that. I'll come back to that. So since you're saying, there's a higher power, there's something there that you don't know, does that lead you to believing into things like the Big Bang, science, conspiracy theories? Is that what? Go into that, because
when I was very much into the historical side of life. So when I learned about the Big Bang, when I learned in the scientific side, I felt like I could connect to that. Do you know why? Because there was reasoning behind it. There was evidence. There was certain things like, with the Big Bang, it's not really evidently, you can never say surely the Big Bang happened.
Yeah.
But like, for example, how our world was made, in the sense of not spiritually, not emotionally, just how it physically was made, there is pure evidence for that. Scientific research that can tell you, right, the rocks eroded, they came together, 1, 2, 3, 4, it got bigger and bigger, boom, you've got the earth. Organisms, we got humans, we got animals. Behind that, I can understand that. There was understanding behind it. I looked at science and I was like, damn, okay, I can see this, I can understand this makes sense. With religion, when they told me, like, I can't remember some of the things, like God took 7 days to create the world and stuff like that, I could not really, not believe it, but understand it. Because to me, especially when you grow up with science behind it, you're like, how the hell did that work then? How did God make this? How did he make all of this? You know? You question it and you're like, how? How did this happen?
But a lot of us Christians, right, we don't think of it like that at all. Like, I don't know how to explain it. We just don't see it as how. We see it more as we trust in God. It says that's exactly like saying, why do you pray to a God you can't even see? But it's like, why do you have so little faith in the God that is there?
think it's more trust. Like when you have trust in God, you can take it in.
Exactly.
When you don't, it's a lot harder.
Exactly.
I can see it.
Yeah. Do you get what I'm saying?
Of course.
It's that trust. It's that you have to have faith. We call it faith as a Christian. We walk by faith and not by sight. That's our whole saying for our whole religion, okay? We don't need science. We don't need the Big Bang Theory to tell me something that God has created these humans, and now these humans are now trying to make another way. Because how do you even know that, yes, there's science behind it. How do we even know the science is right? If we want to be all clueless
I
now,
could do the same to you too,
No,
though.
yeah,
Do you see
yeah,
what I mean?
I see what you mean,
It's so hard.
Yeah,
it's so
exactly.
hard.
But
when
then-
you've got it like that, it's like... Yeah,
But
you're
the
right.
difference-
The thing is you're very right. And I get where you're coming from. That's the bit about being atheist is I can see it on both sides.
Yeah.
I can see the scientific side. I can see the religious
Yeah.
side. Now I just sit in the middle and I'm like, okay.
Never mind.
I'm not going to go for either.
Never mind. But
I'm not going to go for either.
the difference between me and you right now is that I am saying I have faith in God. Do you get it? I have faith.
I don't. And I don't.
That's the
Yeah.
the difference.
The thing is with religion, although it is so stable, it's also, just like how science is also stable, it's also very unstable, you know? There's a thing behind everything, but there's also nothing because of how life works. You know, you could be the most devout. I know I have a personal friend who is a devout Christian, and she has said on multiple times, I've wanted to drop the religion altogether.
It's deeper.
Because it's so many questions running through your head.
It's a lot.
And it's like, if I do this, will it be a sin?
It's a
But
lot.
how is it really a sin? How do I know if I do this, I'm going to go to hell? How do I know if I do this, I'll go to heaven? How do I know what's written here will be the right thing to do? Do you see what I mean?
I see exactly what you're saying. It's a lot of questions. It's a lot to take in.
Yeah.
And because of that, that leads a lot of different Christians and different beliefs of the believers to not know which way to go and not know how to position themselves. And that would lead you to be a bit one foot in, one foot out. But
and
like
then
I
one day
talked
you
about-
either put your foot right in and you go and you do it, or you walk away.
But that's what I talked about in my Christian episode now. You can't be one foot in the world and one foot out of the
Yeah,
world.
of
And
course.
I'm not going to even come and sit here and lie and say that I'm so perfect and I'm this perfect Christian, because I'm not.
You make mistakes.
I'm
You're
not.
human.
Exactly.
Mistakes
I'm
are
human.
meant to be made.
I make mistakes and I still struggle with my faith. Sometimes as a Christian, like, I love this trend on TikTok. It's like, I'm a Christian, but I still struggle with lust, addiction, lying. All of these temptations in the world, because at the end of the day, we live in the world, and as a Christian myself, I live in the world, but I'm not of the world. I live in this world, and as long as we live in this world, there will always be distractions.
Something. That's how God made it, right?
That's how God made it. That's how God made it.
It's our test.
It's our test. My test is now a testimony.
No,
So
I
it's
love
just
that.
my days. Oh, real ones know that song though. Like, it's like my test is now a testimony. Yeah. God has given us this test, but this test, this addiction that was meant to break me, I have now overcome it, and now I'm preaching to other people to break the addiction. This thing the devil has used to put me down, I'm now using that, and I'm putting the devil down. I'm putting the sinners down to shame. Do you get it? Because God uses all of these things as tests, but once we overcome them, we reach a potential that we would never, ever see before. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
We reach a part of ourselves that is like, wow, like, I actually did this.
Yeah.
Do you get it? It's
And
mad.
you get that pride, and you're so good because you
So
feel
good.
good inside and everything. I know.
Exactly.
I do know.
Exactly,
I do.
right. I think that we've literally covered everything. Like, and you know what's mad, guys? I had like 8 questions that we were planning I was going to look at. But when I tell you the way this conversation has flowed, it must be God or something, because it's God, because every single question just came to my head, and everything has been discussed.
Do you know what? Take my word for it. She was looking at her phone to try and figure out all the questions before we started this episode.
Literally.
So God must have been watching.
God was here, because I was like, oh, how am I going to know these questions? And I promise you, when we look back after this, we're going to look back, and we went through it, and it all came so naturally, like, about everything. And honestly, I know this is going to edify so many people. But my last question that I haven't forgot, which I'm really proud of myself, is have you got any advice to anybody who is, you know, doesn't know where they should be, doesn't know like where they fit into life, they're going through something like you. Maybe they're not. Maybe both of their parents are Muslim, but they don't want to be a Muslim. Both Christian, but they don't, you know what I mean? And I'll answer the same question from my point of view as a Christian, and then we'll round off. Yeah?
My biggest piece of advice to anyone, if you've been like me, if you've been like Tasha and you grew up like Tasha, or you grew up like me, do what you think feels right. Because if you're religious and you feel like you need to step away just to, you know, really feel what you need to feel, step away. You are not bad for doing that, I promise. You're not going to a bad place just because you've done something that makes you feel right. Because if God is watching you and God is really caring and he's watching and he knows what's going to happen, he will direct you in the right place. And if you're like me and you think that you don't want to feel anything towards a religion, it could be at the moment, it could be forever, it's okay. Even if you feel like your parents or someone is judging you, let them judge, because God wouldn't want you to be judged. That is the biggest thing. Remember, people's eyes are not God's. God's eyes are his own, and they will never be God. So don't let what people's beliefs, don't let what people think or what they want you to feel become yours. Let that be your lesson forever. Let that forever be your lesson. God is watching you, and if he cares, he'll guide you the right way. Always.
Yes, girl, speak them facts. Tell them. I was literally clicking my hands, word. You know, word. I love that, because you even mentioned God. See, God is working in you today. You don't know it. You don't know it. The Spirit of God has really edified. He's here. He's here. Right. My advice, obviously, if you don't know, like, where you fit in, or you're going through a similar situation like Sophia, which I wish she did when she was in that position when she was way younger and there was no connection. Build that connection. The thing with Christianity is it's not a religion, like it's a relationship. It's all about relationship. Us humans, we are very emotional. We're willed on our emotions, how we feel, how we think. We act upon everything that we feel, and it's all to do with what's in here, our heart. Okay, it's not our faith, it's not our looks, it's nothing. It's all in here. That's what comes out of our mouths. That's what entices our decisions. So build that connection. Don't look back. Don't think, I can't do this. Don't, you know, go to the world. Don't go to lust. Don't go to temptation. Don't go to boys. Don't go to these good thing we didn't even touch on that.
Yeah, real.
Because we were talking for ages. But don't go to these boys. Don't go to all of these things that just are going to pull you away from Christ more. You need to come to him. Come to the Father. Come to God. Come and have a prayer. Seek counsel. God says, they that seek me, they will find. They will find. You seek God. You look towards him. You say, God, this is not my life. This is yours. You give your life to him. You know that God has a bigger plan for you, your purpose, your destiny. Yes, that prayer that you've been praying for 10 years may not be answered, but it will be answered next year.
For real, you never know. You never
know. Keep trusting in God, because and I know we're meant to be rounding off, but don't you ever get that thing where it's like, oh my days, I prayed for this like last year. You might not get it, but I prayed for this like last year, and you know, or 5 years ago. Why is it happening now? Like,
and you're like, what the hell?
What the hell? Like, how this is, and it's always when it's least expecting it. When you're least, God throws these bombs, these amazing miracles into your life when you least expect it. So we need to trust in his plan, trust in his purpose, because it's not our life.
It's his.
It's his life in us. Amen. Praise God. Right, thank you so much, girl, for coming on today. I feel like
a pleasure being here.
This has been so good, and I'm just so happy.
I love the vibe.
I loved it too. There was no judgments. There was no arguments. There was nothing.
There's no need.
There's no need.
When you have faith in what you know,
you just know it. You just know it. And
exactly.
And we both just know it.
Exactly.
Like, we both just know it. Right. So I love this, and I love how like I get you, my guests are just so understanding. Like, I love how you're like, on my days, but become an atheist. Like, you're not like that.
No, I never would. Especially when I grew up the way I did. Be what you need to be.
Exactly.
Be what you need
It's
to be.
amazing, man, how we can see to eye, no arguments. Everybody always asks me, Tasha, how do you do these podcasts? Like, do you not argue? Like,
Why are you arguing?
Why am I
If you
arguing?
trust your belief, your faith,
I
everything.
have so much faith in God, even to do this podcast. God has called me to do it. I have so much faith, and there's a mission to accomplish at the end, and it will be done. Amen. Anyways, thank you again
Thank
for
you so
coming
much for
on.
having me.
No worries. And guys, I want to say thank you guys so much for watching this podcast. Hope you like, comment, and subscribe. This was amazing. Probably one of my favorite episodes, and I don't say that a lot, so you're lucky.
Thank you.
So yeah, love you guys, and hope you guys enjoyed. Bye.